It's me, Catherine Endy, the Family Life Coach. Today we are going to be talking about play and playfulness and how you can use this skill or tool to get your child to cooperate, especially in the face of resistance or conflict or challenging parenting moments throughout the day. So, the reason I want to talk to you about play is that play is really the language of childhood. Play is how children come to understand their environment, it's how they learn, it's how they integrate new information. And this is something that we can really use to our advantage when we kind of get into the zone of play and playfulness. We use that as a way to connect with our child or our children. And it's a wonderful tool for eliciting cooperation because basically, if you think about it this way, if we think about it as a language, if your child speaks French and you speak English, one way that you might get better at connecting with your child is to learn to speak French and to speak to them in their own language. This is going to be a much more effective way to get your message through to them if you speak the language that they speak, right? So using play is similar because it is the way that children explore and understand their environment. So let me give you some examples. One let's see, one example I can think of is a time when my son was little and he was refusing to go brush his teeth. And rather than get into a power struggle with him or kind of dig in my heels or get frustrated or yell or any of those things, I just got silly. And I think I said something like, something about engaging his stuffed dog in brushing his teeth, and then getting my son when he was little to want to go to the bathroom and brush his teeth so that he could also brush the dog's teeth. Or, for example, another example that worked really well when my kids were little was to do this sort of don't you dare thing where I would create a challenge where almost like reverse psychology, where I would say, you better not go brush your teeth, and have that sort of glint in my eye, and then it creates some excitement for them that, oh, I'm gonna show mom, I'm gonna go brush my teeth. Or creating a race, how fast could you go and brush your teeth? And these kinds of things might seem silly at first, but you'd be surprised how effective it can be because you're bringing a spirit of playfulness to the situation rather than getting sucked into a spiral of resistance and negativity and conflict, right? Another example of this is years and years ago, I used to nanny for a family, and the child I think was about 5 years old, and I would say, it's time to pick up your toys. First, I want you to pick up all the red toys. And he would go around and gather all the red things and put them away. Now I want you to gather all the blue things. And at the time, I was young, I was in my 20s, and I was like, I can't believe this works. Like, I felt like I was getting away with something. But the truth is, this felt natural to him. Like, this felt like a fun game to him. And children want to explore the world in a way that's fun and playful and make everything a game. And it's so powerful as a parent because you're using something that comes naturally to them. Now, we maybe have kind of had the play beaten out of us, or, we've become so serious and so, strict and formal about everything because we're grown-ups and, we don't play anymore. But the truth is, when you can relax and just settle into the moment and use play to your advantage, it's so powerful. And this isn't just about getting your kid to do what you want them to do. This is also about relationships, right? Like, this is about building and strengthening your relationship with your child. And when you engage in play and playfulness with your child, especially in these challenging moments where you're asking them to do something that they don't really want to do, you're communicating to them that you're on their level, that you get them, that you see them, and that they're need for playfulness and lightness is important, that it's important to you that they have that need met. And so if you can communicate with them on that level and use playfulness to your advantage, it not only accomplishes the task of getting the teeth brushed or getting the toys picked up, it also achieves the longer term goal of strengthening your relationship with your child. So this is a pretty powerful thing. And, I talked about using play in kind of challenging situations. I also want to give you another example, which is using like just playing with your child, right? And one example that comes to mind that can be very, very effective for helping your child to regulate their emotions and their nervous system is just the simple act of tossing a ball back and forth, because this gets you into a rhythm. You sort of get that back and forth rhythm going. And this kind of entrains the brain in a certain way that you'll notice it too. Like if you just get into that rhythm with your child of tossing the ball back and forth, and you get into a rhythm, you'll notice some physiological changes in yourself, and it can be very, very soothing and very regulating to the brain. So don't underestimate the power of just even 10 minutes or 15 minutes of tossing the ball back and forth to get yourself back to balance, to get your child back to balance. So maybe you're in the middle of a really stressful day and things aren't going well at home and everybody's kind of losing it every other minute. Just stop, grab a ball, go outside and play catch and see what happens. Try that this week and let me know how it goes. If you try this, please let me know in the comments. How'd that go for you? What did you notice? What changed? What shifted? I would love to hear how it goes. Have a wonderful week. See you soon.